Stand-up has always been a big part of my life. I remember when I was a kid, while people were idolizing like Miley Cyrus and Lil Wayne, I was looking up to Gabriel Iglesias and Ralphie May. You know, like those were my idols. I wanted to be like them. And I remember when I was a kid, I had like terrible social anxiety. Terrible. So I looked to comedians to teach me social skills, like, which explains a lot about me if you know me, because they say like it sounds like I'm building up to a punchline, but that's just how I talk. That's just how I talk. So comedy's always been a big part of my life. And then about over a year ago, back last August, 2 August ago, I was dancing around. I was in a gas station job for 2 years at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do with school, and then something just hit me. I remember I was watching I'm Dying Up Here on Showtime. You ever watch that? Great show, executive produced by Jim Carrey, and their stories really resonated with me. I was like, I want to try it. So I Googled open mics in Lake County. You know where Lake County is? No, most people don't. So that's why there's no open mics there. So I was like, fuck it, I'll make my own. So I decided to make my own, and I put myself on, and I used the fact that I was the Circle K guy in town that everybody knew, the local gas station dude, and I knew everyone there in town, and I put flyers all out around town. I marketed myself as the kangaroo dude, and I never tried comedy before, never did it, and I went up and I did 24 minutes, and I killed, and I had 80 people there that night, and from then on, I realized I wanted to be a comedian, and I started. Actually, there that night was a lady named Holly Curley, and she was a realtor who put on a comedy show once a year, and she booked a show for, it was Sam Ivey. You know Sam Ivey? It's Sam Ivey, Matt Elliott, and Dawn Starr were on that show, and I opened up for all three of them, and I bombed, but they were all really cool, and they had me out. I had them out to shows in the future, and so I met this guy. What's up, man?
But, interviewing. Yeah. I'm like, why is he standing there?
But and then started networking with other people, and I realized I wanted to be a comedian, man. It was like a calling, you know. Like once you know. People were like, they went out and they helped someone. Like, I want to be a doctor. I went out and I made people laugh. I was like, I want to be a comedian. Oh, scary. The only people I'd ever practiced by sat in front of were two dudes, my buddies, in my living room, and my dog. So, like, I never did it before. So I kind of just, it was like, you've been doing stand-up for a while, and people tell me you get past the blackouts, like you blacked out. I just blacked out. I kind of just, like, threw myself into it. I came out, and everybody was cheering and applauding, and, like I killed it. It was definitely nerve-wracking, and it was a different experience. I remember it was a natural high. I mean, I've done all sorts of drugs in my life, and I've never felt a high like that before. I mean, you got to go with like Aloha Fluffy, right? When he first got big, his first big special, past his first hour there on Comedy Central. Let's see, comedy albums. Whiskey Icarus, Kyle Kinane, definitely is one of my favorite comedy albums. Ostentatious, Ralphie May, one of my favorite comedy albums. Party, Nick Swardson, another one. Nick Swardson is one of my favorite comedians. So yeah. That 70 show, hands down. Hands down, that 70 show. Comedy films would be like anything with Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's the funniest man that ever lived, and he's fucking Anchorman. I don't remember when you before the internet, when you kept rewinding scenes because they made you laugh so hard. When Jack Black kicked the dog off the bridge, I rewound that like 500 times and laughed my ass off, and then like, I don't know, Talladega Nights, everything by Will Ferrell. Definitely Will Ferrell. Matt TV, man. Matt TV was better than SNL at one point in time. I don't know what happened when Bobby Lee and Michael McDonald and Alex Borstein were on there killing it. That was when Matt TV was at its finest. And then I remember when I was a kid watching SNL. My first SNL class, like the class of, was with Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider and David Spade. I remember that was when I was a kid. Me and my brother never missed an episode of SNL. And that was, yeah, definitely. The one that I can quote off the top of my head, which just had me dying at the age of 14, was Nick Swardson's You know, I'd never want to kill myself, but if I did, I'd make it something that people remembered, you know, just go into a crowd with a gun and be like, who fucking farted? And blow your breath. That one is definitely like, I think about that all the time. I just die. Fluffy. Definitely fluffy. Ralphie May, Gabriel Iglesias, Nick Swardson, George Carlin. I feel like he would just make me cry. But and then let's see, roast comedians. Pete Holmes. Pete Holmes is a very strong roast comedian, but he doesn't like to roast because he's too nice a guy, but he's really good at it. So like, I would love to get roasted by Pete Holmes. I would love to do more improv. I would love to do more improv because I feel like it'll make me better on, it of course makes me better on the fly. You know, having little bits here and there in between space fillers. And I want to do roast battles because I want to be able to deal with hecklers a lot better. You know what I mean? Because if you shut down a heckler, you got the audience and you're good, you know? So I definitely want to do that more. And I would love to get more involved with other writers. You know, like I consider myself a writer just because I write, but my writing's different to the point where I write as I go. You know, like I don't really sit down and go, okay, here's a joke. All right, what is this joke going to be? I like something will come to me, and then okay, I'm going to work off that, and I play it out on stage. You know, I play it out on stage, and everything comes together over time, piecing it together. But I'd like to get involved in more writing workshops. I tell people all the time, and it sounds cocky as shit, man, that in 5 years you'll see me on Netflix. In 5 years, I'm going to have the biggest network of comedians in Florida that is going to rival the New York City and the Hollywood comedy scenes. That is my goal. I'm going to make it happen. So absolutely. So you can find me on the Juan and Only Juan Pantaleon on Facebook, and also connected through the big network that I'm building, which is Gas Money Comedy. The Gas Money Comedy Tour. We have a page on Facebook. You can follow us on there, and I'm also on Instagram. The biggest thing, and I started out this way and I veered away from it just because I wanted to show that I was funny before I touched on serious subjects, was I've dealt with racism my entire life. I've dealt with racism from being biracial, you know, not being Mexican enough, not being white enough, not being Puerto Rican enough. And my biggest thing that I try to get people to take away with is that it doesn't matter what your nationality or race or anything is, and that you shouldn't expect something out of somebody just because they're a Latino comic or a black urban comic or whatever. That I represent everyone. I represent all colors and creeds coming together to just be a comic. And I don't want to be labeled as a Latino comedian. I don't want to be labeled as a urban comedian or anything. I just want to be a comedian. So. I am the Juan and Only Juan Pantaleon, and you can catch me on cuties.com and Pinterest. And Pinterest.